Welcome to another Machinist Masterclass Instructional. Today we're going over cutter compensation and the Haas setting 40 for diameter and radius. So the Haas setting 40 for diameter and radius is going to depict how your cutter compensation is going to work. So if you have it set in diameter, it will add and subtract to the diameter of the cutter. And if it's set in radius, it'll set it off to either the left or to the right if you're in G41 or G42. Some of the examples we'll go over today will be over left-hand compensation with G41. So that's what it looks like in the menu screen. It's when you go to settings, in the general tab, you'll see a 40 off to the left, tool offset measure, diameter, or if you change, it'll say radius. We have our point plotted G code that we did from the last video, and if we were to run it just like this, it's going to cut into the dimensions of a part that we'd like to keep. So we need to consider putting in some geometry or some numbers to make sure that that happens. When we look at the diameter geometry and the diameter wear, and if we have nothing in it, of course it makes sense that our cutter is going to follow directly on that black line. It's going to go right around, but you can see that it will cut into our part. If we add diameter geometry in and setting 40 set to diameter, it will offset the cutter, the radius of it. All right, so if it's set in diameter and you put 500 geometry, it will offset it, the radius, what you see on picture left. If you're in radius mode instead of 40, it will offset it, all of it to the left or right, whatever you have, G41, G42. So we're doing G41, that means all of it will put to the left. So that means it's going to offset ½ inch to the left. Like when we put diameter wear in there now. So if we have diameter geometry, we know it's going to follow the profile we want, but if we just go and make that cut, it's going to maybe be too big of a cut for what we're wanting. So if you notice, all of it was stacked on the radius side and you're out a whole inch, when on the diameter side you only had a ½ inch. Now, I can't fit it all in the picture frame here for the G code, but as you can see, there's program stops. So what we're going to talk about here is how to put in a program stop to set your offset to the cut you want to make. So to start off, you'd go into your offsets, add your diameter geometry and your diameter wear where you want to start. So we're going to start out, we have our ½ inch cutter, so it's already going to offset the radius of that, and diameter wear. So we put in 350. If we were to put in 0.5, it would be too far away because we're using a 3½ inch block. Our feature is 3 inches, and so it'd be cutting air for maybe a couple passes. So we're going to go out 350. And when it starts cutting, it should be taking around a 75 thousandths cut. And if you notice, when you go from 350 to 200 to 25 thousandths, it's slowly stepping closer. And then once you get to your 0, that's when you do your finishing. Here's how I got some of the fees and speeds. So I was using a ½ inch cutter, and I'm just trying to meet the minimums on this. So I have a ½ inch cutter, 600 surface feet on the minimum for that. They say 4,000 inches per tooth. I'm using a 4-flute cutter for the number of teeth, and that's how I got the number. 4585 or 4584 RPM, 73 inches a minute. For our chamfer tool, this is the fees and speeds I got for it. I did up it to 30 inches a minute though. But all you would do, you go to easy fees and speeds, just click on the one you want to highlight, fill in the information, and use that as a starting point. All right, I'm trying to make a video on the cutter comp with as little interruptions as possible. It's going to be real candid. So, all right, so already touched off on G54, or do my G54 offsets, got my tool offsets. So now we're ready to hit cycle start. So to start, I have my tool geometry. We're in diameter. See right there, diameter. I add my 0.5 and my 350 wear on my tool 2. So I'm going to shut the doors and we'll hit cycle start. So it's saying add the geometry to the tool geometry, which we have the 0.5. I'm going to hit cycle start again. And once you add the 350 to wear, which we have the 350 in wear, and go and hit cycle start again. Let's do a tool change. Not a clean window. So we would have our feed down into a plunge, and then we're going to start going into our cut. Now, let's see here. So what we just took off there is a little skim pass off the side, okay? Now what do we stop to? Program stop, adjust wear to 0.2. Alright, let me shut the doors. Go back, go into offsets. 0.2 F1. Press F1 and automatically adjusts it. Alright, we got that set to 0.2, so let's go and hit cycle start again. So then I go back into the same plunge and the same profile cut with 75 thou less. Still not hitting any stock on that top or backside. Alright, let's look here. Alright, so we're still hitting a nice profile. We're not taking too big of a cut. Still not touch on that on this side or the back, but that's okay. We gotta adjust wear to 0.025. So I'll hit 0.025 F1. Bam. 0.025. Adjust to 5. Second start. So now we're getting on that side, which is good. Alright, we touched off on both sides there, so that's good. It's going to clean up. Alright, yep, we've got a nice little cleanup pass on that. So we're now going to be on our last finishing pass. So it's going to slow down so that we get a nice finish on the wall. Adjust to 0.0. So hit 0 point, F1.
Got my 3/8 Endmill. Can't remember the flat of more of them.
Start it again. So this is slower, the finishing pass. Well, it sounds even the whole way. So now I want to check wear on tool 2, well tool 3, I forgot to adjust that note. So tool 3, 80 thou, so I already have it there in wear. Alright, let's check out our part. So we got a nice finishing pass on that. So now let's do a chamfer using the same profile G-code. So we'll make sure we have 0.8 in there. We have 0.8. Cycle start. Go into 2 and 3. Go into the feed. sounds good. Doesn't sound like it's taking too big of a cut. It's hard to see, so let's hope not. What's that? What do we got here? Nice profile. Let's pull this off. That's a nice chamfer all the way around. We cleaned up all the way around. Alright. And now let's check, see where we are dimensionally. Let me grab some calipers. Alright, got my calipers. Let's see what we got here. This is Pittsburgh's finest. H01 0. Alright. Looks like we got 3 inches and a couple thou over. So that's where, if that was without or outside of limits, you can do a negative wear pass. See this one. 2 thou over. They're in that top drawer. Alright, 2 thou over. Alright, so we're within spec there. This is the next project I'll be going over to kind of help manually G-code all this stuff out and help us all learn. So go ahead and take a snapshot of this and try to practice writing the G-code out. And the next video will come out, I'll do all the G-code and we can see how we can compare. Thank you for watching another Machinist Masterclass instructional on cutter compensation and the Haas setting 40 diameter radius.